Ever feel like you're just on this, like, runaway train, career-wise, destination, who knows? But you're putting in the work.
Right. Oh, absolutely. You're not alone. That's where this inner quest thing by James Gray comes in.
Totally. Ditch the autopilot and design a career you actually want.
Exactly. And you shared his course materials with us, so I'm ready to dive in.
Oh, we are going deep. This deep dive, my friend, it's going to be packed. Actionable insights galore.
It's amazing how Gray sets this whole inner quest thing up, like a 5-week expedition,
Right?
to build that intentional career strategy.
Right. And he doesn't mess around. Detailed syllabus, assignments that really make you think.
We even get some golden nuggets from those big names, Brené Brown, Robert Greene.
Okay, so forget the whole find your passion fluff. This is about
Yeah.
figuring out your why and then actually mapping out how to get there.
Exactly. No more wandering around in the career wilderness.
We'll pull out the very best strategies so you can start building that dream career even if you aren't taking the full course. Speaking of starting strong, week 1 goes all in on vision.
It's foundational, right? And Gray uses a framework from Jim Collins, from Beyond Entrepreneurship,
Hmm.
core values, purpose, mission. He shows how these apply not just to companies, but to us individually.
I love how he takes that from idea to action in assignment 1.0.1, writing your vision story. So picture your perfect day 6 months from now. Vivid detail.
Not just a daydream, a clearly defined goal.
It reminded me of something Brené Brown talks about in Dare to Lead. We get trapped by stories that hold us back. Gray pushes us to be the authors of our own stories. That vision story, it's the first step.
Yes. Taking control of the narrative.
Yeah.
Powerful stuff.
And he doesn't stop there. Lesson 1.0.3 really got me. Letting go of narratives that no longer serve us. What does your ideal day look like 6 months from now? Start writing. Seriously, that's how you turn it into reality.
It all starts with that first step.
But vision without a strong foundation is like a house of cards, right?
100%. It'll crumble. And that's where values come in. Gray uses more great insights from Brené Brown. He talks about slippery behaviors, those little actions that show when we aren't living by our values.
It's easy to say honesty is important to me. But what about when you need to give tough feedback? Do you sugarcoat it? Slippery slope.
Truth.
Assignment 1.1.1 was powerful. Identify 2 core values, then define the behaviors that actually prove you live by them. And even more important, what are your slippery behaviors? That's self-awareness in action.
Self-awareness is key, and it needs to extend to our beliefs too. Gray digs into the difference between self-limiting and self-affirming beliefs. These things can either hold us back or launch us forward.
And he quotes James Clear, Atomic Habits, right? Clear says, becoming the best version of yourself requires you to continuously edit your beliefs and to upgrade and expand your identity.
It's like our SLBs,
Yeah,
our self-limiting beliefs. They're running outdated software, limiting our potential.
totally. And in lesson 1.2.4, Gray gives us a process for reframing those. He even uses his own examples. So relatable. Identify the belief's root, recognize the warning signs, then make rituals to reinforce a new, empowering belief. It's like rewiring your brain one belief at a time.
I love that he doesn't just tell you to think differently. He gives you the tools to actually do it, like having a personal belief debugger.
Okay, so we've got values as our foundation, beliefs are the framework, then purpose is like.
The North Star, guiding us forward. In Inner Quest, this is where things get really interesting. Gray brings in Robert Greene's concept of life's task from mastery, remember?
Oh, yeah. Green says true purpose isn't something you just find written down somewhere. It comes from within, your internal compass, giving you direction.
And he says it beautifully in Laws of Human Nature. The real purpose comes from within. It is our own. We may have been inspired by others, but nobody imposed it upon us, and nobody can take it away.
It's powerful stuff. And then he brings in the Ikigai framework. It's not just about finding work you love, but the spot where you love it, you're good at it, the world needs it, and you can get paid for it.
Finding that sweet spot where passion, talent, and impact all come together.
It's incredible. And you know what I found fascinating? Thinking back to childhood passions can actually provide clues to your purpose now.
It's true. What excited you as a kid, those early interests? They can hold the key.
So powerful. But how do we translate all of this into action? Well, Gray brings in goal setting. He starts with SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. But he doesn't stop there, obviously.
Of course not. He introduces the OKR framework, objectives and key results. It's huge in the tech world, helps you stay aligned, focused, and track your progress. Gray gives a clear example of an objective, like landing your dream job, then breaks it down into measurable key results.
It's reverse engineering that big, scary goal. Suddenly it feels doable because you've got a roadmap.
Exactly. What 3 concrete things can you do this week to get closer? That's what you need to figure out. Okay, so week 2 of InnerQuest, it's all about identity design. But hold on, it's not just updating your LinkedIn profile.
Right. We're talking deeper here.
Much deeper. Gray says our identities, even the ones we think are, like, set in stone, they can change.
Okay, so we're all walking around with these blueprints inside us. They're running the show. Our actions, our outcomes.
Exactly. And he's like, what if you could actually redraw those blueprints?
Become the architect of your own identity. I love it.
Right. In assignment 2.0.1, build a new identity. He wants you to actually create something visual or make a list. What does your ideal self look like?
And not just the job title you want.
No. The behaviors.
Yeah.
The habits. Even the emotions that go with that new identity.
It's bridging the gap
Yeah.
between who you are now and who you want to be.
I like to think of it like trying on clothes. Step into that fitting room. Try on different versions of yourself. See what fits.
Find the one that feels right. Totally. And Gray gets it. This stuff can be emotional. He doesn't shy away from that.
In Lesson 2.3, he talks about emotional literacy. He brings in Brené Brown's work, Atlas of the Heart.
Of course.
And he argues that understanding your emotions, it's not just a soft skill, it's strategic in your career.
Because emotions can make us or break us, right? We've all been there, hijacked by our feelings, second-guessing everything.
Been there. Gray gives you actual tools. The emotion scorecard is interesting. Track how different emotions impact your work.
Move from reactive to responsive. Love that.
And once we understand our own emotions, then we can set healthy boundaries.
Which is huge. And that's week 3. Freedom.
Gray's big on boundaries.
Yeah.
But not in a selfish way. He sees it as creating space to actually thrive.
Yes. At work and in life, it's about saying no to the stuff that drains you and yes to the things that light you up.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Truth. It takes practice. Sometimes it means those tough conversations or saying no to something that looks good on paper, but
doesn't align with your goals. He has this great lesson, 3.1, letting go.
ooh, that's a good one. What are you holding on to that no longer serves you?
And it's not just physical stuff. It's mental clutter, limiting beliefs, those old stories we tell ourselves.
Even relationships.
It made me think of that Anais Nin quote. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom.
Wow, that's perfect.
It's like Gray's giving us permission to shed those old layers.
Step into your power, even if it's scary. And sometimes that means embracing the stuff we've been told to hide, the dark side.
Right. Lesson 3.2, unleashing your dark side. Little intense, but stay with him.
We're not talking like Darth Vader evil here. It's about those shadow parts of ourselves. Ambition, competitiveness, even anger.
Which can be super powerful if you use them the right way.
Exact. Even superheroes have a dark side. It's about integrating those parts, not letting them run the show.
He using insights from Robert Greene's Laws of Human Nature again. And even Timothy Grover, the guy who trained Michael Jordan.
Wow. Talk about high achievers. It's about tapping into that drive, that relentless pursuit of your goals.
And sometimes you need to step outside your comfort zone. Try on a different persona.
He talks about the alter ego, right?
Yes. And before you think it's too out there, there's actually a lot of research behind this. They let us experiment in a safe way. Push past those limitations.
It's like giving yourself permission to be bolder, more assertive, without the fear holding you back. And when you combine that with real skills, unstoppable.
Absolutely. And that's lesson 3.4, unique skills.
This isn't just any skills. These are the ones that make you stand out, that people will pay for.
He wants you to see yourself as a product, a brand, which might sound strange.
It is about understanding your value. What do you bring that no one else does? And then hone those skills. Invest in yourself.
Become indispensable.
Love it. Which also requires a strong network. That's week 4, transformation.
Building a network that supports your vision opens doors. It's not just about collecting business cards at some event.
No way. It's about those meaningful connections. Mentors, peers, sponsors who believe in you.
And your personal brand. How are you communicating your value to the world?
Right. Craft that narrative, online and off. Gray really pushes you to refine your message and get it out there.
He wants you to own that narrative. So lesson 4.2 is all about being a lifelong learner, creating a learning roadmap. But again, he's not talking about signing up for every random webinar.
It's got to be strategic.
Yes. What are those knowledge gaps? What will actually move you forward?
And these days that means tech too, right?
Absolutely. Lesson 4.3. It's not about becoming a coder overnight, but which tools will streamline your work, help you stand out.
Can you imagine if Mozart had Instagram? He would have been a rock star.
Right. It's about using tech to do more, connect more, and not just get distracted. Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And after all that inner work, the external transformation, he brings it all together in week 5. Insights. Integrate, synthesize, share what you've learned.
It's time to put it all into practice.
Assignment 5.0.1 really stood out to me. Present and share what you have learned on the inner quest. This is where it gets real. What are your big takeaways?
Right. What would you say if you had to present your inner quest to a room full of people?
Exactly. What's changed for you? This isn't about showing off. It's about really owning your story, inspiring others to do the same.
It's about closing that loop, taking all that work and turning it into something real, something that can impact the world.
And that's what makes Inner Quest so different. It's a call to action.
To be the best, most intentional version of yourself. It's been amazing unpacking all of this with you. Gray has created such a powerful system for this crazy working world.
Even if you don't take the full course, I hope this deep dive gave you some good takeaways, some tools to start building a more intentional career.
A career that's more you. So tell us, what's your biggest takeaway? What will you apply to your journey today? Let us know. Keep asking those questions, push those boundaries, and design a career that really lights you up.